right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion, Chaos to Calm. So, thanks for joining me today. Whether you're watching this live or the rerun, it doesn't matter. We're going to discuss 3 tips that I've put together for you to help you move from feeling stressed and anxious to creating calm and inner peace in your life. Okay, so one thing, if you're listening, this will be really helpful for anyone who is feeling stressed or anxious or overwhelmed during the current time that we're going through. Listen up. The tips I'm going to give you, some might be common sense, some might not. There's a lot you can do to create calm in your life, but I'm going to highlight 3 things only today because there's so much more you can do. Okay? So have a pen and paper ready and make sure you participate in the discussion regardless of whether you're live or listening to the rerun. The more you engage, the more you will benefit from the training, okay? All right, let's get started. Tip number 1, mind your thoughts. Now, I want to read this quote. This is by Caroline Leaf. She's a brain researcher from South Africa, and she says 87 to 95% of illnesses are a direct result of our thoughts. So what we think about affects us physically and emotionally. Your thoughts create your reality. That is the truth. So I want to ask you, do you know how many thoughts we have per day? Take a guess, write in the comments. Let's see if you guys can guess this. How many thoughts do we roughly have per day? I'm not sure if I can, I'm going to see if I can check your comments. So roughly, I'm going to tell you, I think I pressed the wrong thing. All right, so roughly we have 60,000. Oh, interesting. That's actually more than... We actually roughly have 30,000 thoughts a day. So imagine if these thoughts were negative. Then we're making ourselves sick just by thinking. So negative thoughts are toxic. They accumulate in our body, and they accumulate on a more energetic level, and they cause havoc with our health. So it is important to think positive thoughts. So what can we do? What can we do in order to mind our thoughts? There are 2 things I want to highlight here. Number 1 is change what can be changed. So if you're not happy with something in your life and you are able to change it, then change it. But the second one, accept what cannot be changed. I find that that is even more important right now, given what's going on with the world. Worrying about something that you cannot change is just going to create more anxiety and more stress in our lives. And sometimes it's good to remind ourselves of this. And it's not an easy thing to do, but you need to accept what you cannot change. Shift your perspective. Accept the things that you can change the way they are, and try to see the good in them. There's always something good in everything. Every challenge in life has a little good in it. So I challenge you to try to find the good things in your life. Think of it as an opportunity to thrive in a new way. Okay? Now, I know it's easier said than done, but it's really... I recommend starting slow and building up on that. So let's start right now. I want you to write what one positive thing you can see in your life right now. Write the comments down, and the interesting thing is, when you write something down, when you express your thoughts in writing, you are committing to it more than if you say it just out loud. So writing things down is more powerful. Now, sleep is one of them. I see that. Yeah, you get to sleep more. Why not? That's a good thing, right? For me personally, I find I get more time to exercise that I didn't really have before. I get to cook every day, which I couldn't do before either. So there are a lot of positive things that you can find in your life. And not sure if anyone is familiar with Abraham Hicks. She is an inspirational speaker and author. She's one of my favorite people to listen to, especially now. And she says, do your best to focus on that which you want and not that which you don't want. What we think about, we bring about. So think about that. If you want to hear more of her videos, just YouTube Abraham Hicks. She'll come up. She talks a lot about the current situation as well and how to cope with that. It's really interesting and powerful. I got another comment here. Balancing life activities, finding the time now. Yes, exactly. So we can go even deeper in this topic because the way we cope with the external world is an indication of what's going on internally in our internal world, and that goes really deep into emotions and working with our emotions, but it all begins with our thoughts. So start with our thoughts and work on changing the negative thinking into positive. Try to really become mindful of what you're thinking on a daily basis, especially when you start feeling stressed or anxious, and see what's going on in your little world, your inner world. And to summarize, change what can be changed and accept what cannot. Okay, so moving on to tip number 2. It's actually, tip number 2 is an extension of tip number 1, and this is practicing gratitude. Some of you maybe are already doing this, so I want to encourage you to keep doing it even more in this time. I do this exercise every day before bedtime, and it has become it's like a habit. I have to do it. It comes naturally now because I've been doing it for so long. So you want to appreciate what you have instead of focusing on what you don't have. And this is, we can easily focus on that right now, right? We have a lot of good things in our lives that we might be taking for granted. So it's important to focus on that. You can do this simple daily practice before going to bed. So what I do, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day before I go to bed. So I review my day and I only write down the things that were good, that I was grateful for. You know, sometimes something negative might happen in your day and you might actually be grateful for that because it can lead you to something even better, right? So work on that and see what happens. And it's important that you don't go to bed with negative thoughts. So I find a lot of people tend to watch the news before they go to bed. No, that's a no-no. Make sure you don't watch the negative news before you go to bed. Because that can cause anxiety, stress, it can create insomnia. You might not sleep well and then you're going to wake up in the morning with a headache. So let's do this exercise now. I want you to write down in the comments 1 thing that you're grateful for today so far. So it's half the day is gone. What are you grateful for today? Go ahead. Expose your gratitude to the world. Again, when you write things down, they're written things are more energetic. They have a stronger energy attached to it than just a thought. Okay, so moving on to the final tip. And the final tip is actually my favorite. Eat the rainbow. I had to put this here because, as many of you know, I am a holistic nutritionist, and I find that food plays such a huge role in mental health. Grateful for the sun that came out. Oh yes, I know, all night it rained, I think, and I heard that it's supposed to snow. So I don't know how that's possible right now, but it's sunny out. Sorry guys, your comments are a little bit delayed, so I see them much later. Alright, so tip number 3, eat the rainbow. Like I was saying, food plays such a huge role in mental health. Good food equals good mood. And what we feed our body will either heal us or harm us. Okay? So first off, I want to say this, and you know this for sure. When it comes to sugar, I want to stress this. Avoid or minimize your sugar intake as much as possible during stressful times, just like right now. When you're stressful, when you're when you're stressed and anxious, you will naturally gravitate towards sugar. And there are reasons for that. I don't want to get too deep into it, but there are emotional reasons for that. Sugar is linked to anxiety and depression. So you want to make sure you minimize that. You can eat healthy sweets, fruits, you can make healthy desserts at home using healthy alternatives to white processed sugar. So good food, like the rainbow, helps our digestive system to stay healthy. And there is research done where they say our gut and our brain are connected. Our gut is actually considered to be our second brain. And I want to read this actually for you. This is another quote from a book. It's called The Second Brain. 95% of the body's serotonin, so serotonin is the happy feel-good hormone, along with many other brain chemicals and neurotransmitters, are manufactured and stored in the gut. 95%. Only 5% of the body's serotonin is found in the brain. And it's now well supported that we process our mental and emotional stress through our digestive tract. So what does this mean? This means that we need to take care of our gut. There are many things we can do for our gut health, but today I want to highlight eating the rainbow. This is where it comes in. So you want to make sure your plate is colorful. I recommend 3 to 5 colors. 3 is the minimum. If you can get 5 colors in your plate, that is amazing. Why? Because each color represents a different nutrient. Each pigment represents a different nutrient. So the more nutrients you give your body, obviously the better you're going to feel. For example, let's talk about red foods. So red foods are highly antioxidants. So they stress, for example, creates cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and that leads to free radicals, which can damage cells. High antioxidants like red foods, so that pigment, the red pigment, helps repair the cell damage. So just off the top of your head, what are red foods? Throw them down in the comments. Now, even white, the rainbow has white as well. White is also, there are foods that are white that are good for you, like garlic and onions, right? One color, purple, actually purple and blue, that's a difficult color to find in nature. But purple, the color purple, is rich in flavonoids. So that helps our blood vessels, our heart. It helps with improving short-term memory, and it's good and healthy for the brain. Red foods, I see tomatoes, red peppers, yes. Strawberries, raspberries, so many red fruits. But can you think of purple or blue? Those are a little bit harder to think of. So my favorite purple food is figs. Yes, figs, the skin is purple, and the skin is actually what contains the most nutrients. And it's funny because I know some people who peel the skin and they eat the inside, and I'm like, you're removing all the flavonoids from the figs. Eggplants, yes, eggplants are really good. They're purple food. Again, you want to eat the skin. That's where all the nutrients lie. Purple potatoes, purple cabbage. I've been eating that lately a lot. I love purple cabbage. It just makes you happy when your food is colorful, right? So it puts you in a good mood. It's incredible what food can do to you. Plums are another thing. I always wondered if blackberries are considered purple food because they're black from the outside, but when you squish them, it turns kind of purple, right? So that could be a purple food. I can go on forever about this topic because it's an incredible topic, how nutrition can help mental health. So I'm preparing an online training. I've done this training last year in person. It's called Relaxation Through Food. And I will be doing an online version where we will talk about how to feed your body to calm your mind and boost your mood. So I will put everything in the Facebook group. I think it should be coming up in about 2 weeks, so I'll make sure you know about that. But until then, really I want to end this session by summarizing everything. So you want to focus only on what you can control. Think positive thoughts. Be grateful for the good in your life. There is so much good in our life right now. And eat the rainbow. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I can answer them later. Other than that, stay healthy, enjoy the sunshine, and I will see you soon. Bye!